learning styles. Each and every person is different in their own ways, and it's been said that everyone has their own way of learning. And so, the first thing that I would like to start with is talking about the problem with learning styles. And after reading an article titled The Problem with Learning Styles, it shared the fact that we're kind of stuck in a world where people think that learning styles only cater to the actual classroom. What I found unique about the article was that it went into further detail about how we have to question whether the learning styles or the learning experience actually is within the classroom. As a classroom teacher, I have found that yes, everybody learns in different ways. And sometimes it is hard to meet the needs of every single child that comes in your classroom. But there are alternatives as a teacher that you could look at possibly doing. And so after reading the assignment and reading some of the articles, the learning doesn't just happen inside the classroom. It happens outside the classroom on a day-to-day basis. What we do day to day is what helps the mind to be able to work. It allows the mind to be able to process things that are going on. And so what happens is everyone's learning style different? Yes, everyone's learning style is different. What I find unique is that we always like to say that, oh, well, the children have more than one learning style. And that was considered a myth. There are some children that they only have one learning style. I know for myself, as an example, I learned several different ways. But then my sister, on the other hand, who's also an educator, she learns by visual only. So now the question that we're kind of looking at is, why might that be the case? According to neuroscience, it says that we have a left part of the brain and a right part of the brain. And so the left side is more of the concrete process of the brain, whereas the other part of the brain is more of the creative side. And so for many, they might not have that, if I might say, they might not have like that thought process. Some people are not creative. So if you did something that was considered a visual aid, they might not learn that way. They might not learn just from reading. Sometimes you kind of have to figure out where you actually fall. And there are tools that are used to measure the way that people think. But then sometimes you have to go back and you have to think about it. Is it really effective? Every year at the beginning of the school year, teachers like to give out this assessment. How do you think? So I can plan on how you learn. What's the best way to teach you? And I finally realized that I was just wasting paper. And I was wasting my time by having students to really like fill out a survey that it didn't make sense to them. As a result, I had to go back and reevaluate how can I meet the needs of those that are kinesthetic learners? How can I meet the needs of those that are visual learners? How do I meet the need of those that are spatial learners? So after much thought, I finally realized that I had to connect what was on the outside of the classroom to what they do daily when they're not in a classroom. I had to connect that to what the standards were that we use to teach the students. As a result, did I see growth? Yes, I saw a lot of growth. And it wasn't where I was having to separate how I taught the students. The students were able to actually grasp what was being taught because I met the needs of how they learn. So when you think about learning styles as a classroom teacher, I know that you can't stick to the traditional, oh, you're a kinesthetic learner or you're more of a visual learner. You have to kind of allow the children that you teach to be able to learn in their own way because learning just doesn't consist in the classroom. It's outside the classroom also. This is going to be the first of many series because I think that as a teacher, we kind of need to have a better understanding about the learning styles of the students that we serve. And I think there's so much useful resources out here to help teachers have a better insight on learning styles and understanding that the learning just doesn't happen inside the classroom. For more information on the resources I am using, you can look down in the information box. And please reach out if you have questions. I would love to engage in a conversation. Thank you.